So as most of you guys know, in most of my Stormhawks headcanon, I talk about that Atmos was created by a race of beings called the Creators, which are these ancient race that use this thing called the God Machine to forge and create Atmos. But I never went to my headcanon of the different religions. I have talked about it before, but never went too in depth with the headcanon religions I created first for my Stormhawks fanfictions. So I thought I'd talk about it here, and if it doesn't match up with your fanfiction, totally fine, no problem. These are just my this is just my fanfiction. I'm not saying this is the word of law. Although I do find it funny that I sometimes see fanfiction where some of my ideas are kind of leaked there, so that's fine, totally fine. Anyway, so I hope you all enjoy this. So in this Stormhawks my Stormhawks headcanon universe, well, Stormhawks headcanon, that there are multiple religions throughout the different races and different cultures of Atmos. You know, it's obviously with so many different species out there, you've got so many different gods and what have you. But yeah, let's start off with the Raptors. Now, the Raptors, I had it that they believe in multiple gods. They believe in different gods, and a lot of them are, and they're all, obviously they all appear to be raptors and whatnot, but actually I had it more that they appear more like humanoid dinosaurs, like their king god, Tyros, which is they consider like the head of the gods. I kind of imagine he looks kind of like a humanoid T-Rex. And Tyros in their religion is the god of war. It's not like with the god of the sun, which is the head god. It's the god of war is the king of the gods, because they of course love fighting so much. So yeah, it would kind of make sense that their god that they worship is the god. You know, their chief god is the one thing raptors are built for. So Tyros is like their chief god, but they've also got several other ones, like a god. They have god of harvest, god of hunting. They've got goddess of love. They've got a goddess. They actually have a goddess of the sun instead of a god of the sun, and they have a god of the moon. I'm not going to go too deep into their everything of this mythology. I'm just going to give a quick run through. But yeah, they have a god of a god of the moon and a sister of the sun, because for raptors in my headcanon is that raptor women are very well respected. They are, obviously they're just as powerful as the males, and to them, sunlight is like giving life, much like how women give birth to new life. So for them, the sun in their minds is, it's obviously a woman. The sun, like them, because they're reptiles, and reptiles need sun. So yeah, it's like giving life to them. So yeah, they call it the Sun Mother. In their texts of Bogaton, they call it the Sun Mother. So that was the thing. So that's the big difference right there. You've also got like what else? Like a god, god of the sky. You've got a god, you've got a god of hunting, like I said. You've also got a god of, a goddess of nature. You've also had, but all of them are like the children of Tyros, the god of war, who in their religion they believe Tyros, who they also call the Allfather, like Odin. The Allfather and the Sun Mother, who was, I'm trying to remember what I gave her, Heliosah. Heliosah and Tyros forged Bogaton first from the ashes of the wastelands below. They formed it and gave birth, and together the world they created and forged through their love what they consider to be the ultimate hunters. They believe to be the perfect specimens of this world. But they believe that, yeah, these guys are so badass, we need perfect prey for them. So all the other creatures, like humans, Wallops, Mobians, Blizzarians, Cyclonians, were all created to be prey for the Raptors. That's how they explain why there's so many different races in here. So in their text, it's like, oh, they're just made to be prey for us. Also, another thing in Raptor religion I had is that the leader, or chieftain or king, chieftain or king, however you want to say it, for Bogotan, is also the high priest. He is also the one who holds a lot of the religious power in not just, monarchy, but also the religious form. So Repton is that high priest. He is not only king, but he is also high priest, and he dictates both how Bogotan and its people are carried, physically as well as spiritually. So that's his duty. That is his duty as king and high priest. And a lot of elders, become religious members as well. A lot of elders go into priesthood or priestesshood. Also, fun fact, I had it in when Starling in my Stormhawks headcanon marries Repton. She is initially an atheist, but converts to she converts to worshiping their gods. She converts to worshiping their gods because she was like, yeah, I'm more raptor than I let on. I'm not saying that she's actually secretly a raptor. She just has more of the raptor tendencies in her. Like, a lot of, she has that brutality that a raptor has. So, when they marry, Starling fully embraces being, worshiping the gods of Bogotan. So, there's that. You got that for you. Moving right along to the Blazarian goddess, I should just say. I went a little bit into this when I talked about my headcanon for Blazarians. But Blazarians have only one god, or should I say goddess. They have one goddess, and her name is Azuria. Azuria to them is the mother of all. She is the mother of snow, and their blizzard crystal, they believe, was given to them by their goddess. It was given to them by Azuria in ancient times. So that kind of that was my way of explaining why Suzy Lu was so against destroying the crystal, because yeah, it's a sacred artifact. It's a sacred artifact to them. So that's really it, is that in there, they only have one goddess. It's a woman, because I've always had in my headcanon that Blazarians have a matriarchal society. It's a very, women-led society. Anywho, so you've got that. The Cyclonians. Let's talk about the Cyclonians. The Cyclonians they believe for them, their gods live under the ground. They always say, gods below, or, pray to the gods below. They don't believe that they're, up above them, or in, in the sky or whatnot. They believe all their gods are below. And to them, all of the other gods that are throughout the world of Atmos are their equivalent to devils. For them, it's inverted. They believe their gods are under the ground, and all the devils are in the sky. So, hell above, gods below. That's their whole train of thinking. Now, they have multiple gods as well. The Cyclonians, I had it that they have multiple gods and goddesses as well. Their chief god is named Memon, and Memon was, in their religion, Memon waged a war against the other gods, but he was actually part of this pantheon of different gods, but he was believed to be so powerful they threw him under the ground, much like, say, Lucifer being thrown under the ground, into hell, along with all of his followers. And Memon and his rebellion became the new god, became the gods of the gods below. And in their revenge, since they could never leave, go back up above, they forged from Memmon's blood the ultimate warrior, the ultimate society, the perfect race, the Cyclonians, and forged it. And he actually, how I had is that Memon in Cyclonian religion cut his arm and put his blood into a typhoon, a cyclone, hence creating the Cyclonian race. And also in Cyclonian cult religion is that, much like the pharaoh in ancient Egypt, whenever a new Master Cyclonus comes into power, it is believed that they become one with Memon. And Memon, whenever Cyclonus, he or she, whoever is Master Cyclonus at the time, speaks, that is Memon speaking. That is Memon's word of law speaking through him or her. So to defy Master Cyclonus is to commit heresy to them. If you said no to Master Cyclonus, you're basically saying no to Mammon. So that's how they for a lot of them I had it that a lot of Cyclonians are secretly religious fanatics. So that's why they're so gung-ho of serving Cyclonus. But yeah, the other gods are like Baphomet, the god, the god of vice, or the god of greed, I should say. You've got Hepzibah, who is the goddess of lust. A lot of them, because why you're probably sounding, well, why are all the gods and goddesses of Cyclonia sound evil? Well, I had it that these gods and goddesses that the Cyclonians worship are, they believe that vice and sin and bloodshed make you a stronger person. Because containing all of that sin inside of you is not healthy. Like, they believe that these gods are helping you release that sin. And, committing those atrocities is good for your soul. So when you are judged, your soul is pure because all of the flesh has committed all the sin. Yeah. See, I thought this shit through. Yeah. So that's how Cyclonians view religious society. Anyway, so the other ones would be the Wallops. The Wallops are, how I had is that they also have one god. They call their god the Founder. And the Founder was this Wallop who, in their religion, the Founder forged Atmos. He took his hammer and smashed it against Atmos, which they believed was all these little pieces. It was actually one big continent. It was one big continent, one big landmass, and the Founder took his hammer, after coming down from the skies, he took his hammer and smashed it against the Atmos, creating all of the little terras throughout all of life. But but seeing all this life, he wished to have his own children, because the Founder never had his own family. So the Founder took clay and stone and created Wallops. So there you go. That's Wallop religions. They have one god who forged Atmos with striking his hammer upon the surface of Atmos. Merbians, however, Merbians are atheists. They're all atheists. They don't believe in anything. Because to them, their whole thing is, if there's a god or goddess or multiple ones, why do they let crazy shit like this happen to us? So yeah, Merbian society is full of atheists. They don't really have gods or anything. So you're probably wondering now, what do the Stormhawks worship? What do the Stormhawks religions have? What do the Stormhawk religions have, since I've talked about several of them? Well, Junko does believe in the Founder, in the Forger. Why'd I say the Founder? The Forger. And the Forger, yeah, he believes in the Forger, but keeps his religion himself. Stork is an atheist. Piper is a crystalist, and crystallists in Atmos, in my headcanon, is that crystallists they believe in science. They believe in the science of crystals, but they do acknowledge that the world is so fantastic that there has to be some divine entity behind it. They don't acknowledge it's a god, but they believe it's more like an energy source, like a divine energy of sorts. So essentially, Piper, in my headcanon, is an agnostic. She doesn't believe in religion, in like a god or goddesses, but she believes like there's a science to this thing. So Finn is essentially like Han Solo. He's not really religious, but he's like, hokey religion and magic swords don't compare to a good crossbow. That's his train of thinking. But eventually he sees so much that he does kind of have that religious thing of, maybe it's all true. All of it. Now we come to Arrow. Arrow is a religious person in that he worships, his form of God comes from, what was that? I give the name of it? The Great Phoenix. And the Great Phoenix in Atmosian religion, we're getting to him real quick, is mostly worshipped on Atmosia, or human-centric colonies on Atmosia. And the Great Phoenix was, in their religion, is that it was a giant bird who came down from the skies and was having a war with a serpent, with this great serpent across the stars. and the Serpent and the Phoenix had this great war that actually, like, it shattered the world into the Terras. The scales of the Serpent were spread out, and that's why we have like Terras and whatnot, because it's the battle damage of the two monsters. And the Phoenix while it fell the Serpent, and thus, you know, its blood created the Cyclonians. The Phoenix spread its wings across the sky and beat its wings across the surface of the world and created life from it, before inevitably flying into the sky and becoming the sun. So there you go, the Great Phoenix. So that's what Arrow worships. Again, a one-god thing. Yeah, so there you go. That is pretty... I would go more into the other ones, but I was like, we'd be here a while, and I didn't exactly think of religions for every single Atmosian or what have you. So those are like the main core religions I thought up for the Stormhawks universe. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this? Did you guys like this? Guys hate this? And what religions did you think of for the Stormhawks universe in your own headcanons? Just comment below, let me know. And once again, Carlotta Studios, I know you're watching this, so I can't wait to see what you come up with, whether it be a reaction video or otherwise. But in any case, once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.